too. Is it a wash? It's not a wash. I mean, for the majority, not for all, because it definitely ain't for all.
But for those who make it their lives work, I guess, or those who saw that example when they was younger, and they saying, "Nah, man, I seen Grandma and Papa, and I seen now it can be done," Are they in the illusion, and now the new generation of what they would call the millennials or whatever are saying, "Man, that just was back then. We don't," or they tell us they don't want what the grandparents had. Mm-hmm. Or do some want it, some don't want it, that's the topic where they did not see it. Right, but whoa, we finna get into it. This is Verbal Pig Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life when we are everyday people, man. I'd like to welcome y'all to the show. But basically, we finna jump off. We gonna touch bases upon relationship, because I do think that's a vital topic, man. I got worthy guests that can share their insight on this subject, man, and that would be Christnu. What's up, bro? Welcome to the show.
What's going on, Brother Black?
Man, now we put it down, and then we got the marvelous Clancie Jones.
Hi.
Definitely finna put her wisdom and intake on this very serious topic. But money, man. What can you do in a capitalistic society without money? And then what constitutes money? Is it that dollar, that silver certificate which no longer exists? Now it's just a federal note. Or is it the Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin money?
Indeed.
Okay.
I mean, the definition, if we're going out the U.S., is gold and silver.
Come on.
And that's really based on how the people value it. If they say we're not going to put any money into it, then the value of it plummets to zero.
Right.
So it's relative to us, to the people.
So the people's they put the value into what we deem as value.
Right, and how much they're willing to pay for it.
But that's anything though.
Mm-hmm.
That's anything.
Yeah.
You set the value. You make people believe that there's value in it, and then they'll put their finances towards that to create the value.
Right.
Okay, now let me make sure this. You hear reports and you see certain articles where it says the crash of the Bitcoin.
Mm. Right.
And I'm thinking, wow, how can anything that's where it would take 6,000 federal notes to equal one Bitcoin is crashing?
Right.
The math just doesn't add up.
Right now it's 8,200.
Come on.
It jumped up to 8,200.
So that's a win-win.
Right. That's a win-win. Yeah, because we just recently it was at about 6,600, 6,700, and it just jumped up to 8,200 like damn near overnight. So if you just got in, then you make your nice little piece of change, But if you was rolling with the FUD, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, then you just missed out.
That's right. Yeah. Now what creates, and we want to see everything in this show. It circulates to us as a whole, as a people, and what do you think constitutes that fear? And as far as investments, when we all know from childhood, risk, there's a reward for risk. Mm-hmm. If you're not taking chances or even getting out there trying, then how can you reap a reward? Right. And so, where does that fear stems from when dealing with money, even on a small scale of just budgeting? Where's the spookism on paper when it comes to money?
I think people, they go with what they're accustomed to and what they were taught. So you have this element, let's just using crypto for an example, is that you have news spreading fake news, and you have banks and governments that have an agenda where they want the fiat, let's just use US dollars for an example, they want that money to continue to flow, to continue to be moved around and circulating. If you start circulating that through another market like the crypto market, then that means that it's taken away from the US dollar market and the China market and so on and so forth. So now the funny thing is that while all this is going on, Goldman Sachs, through their Circle company, just bought Poloniex, which is one of the, largest and most well-known cryptocurrency exchanges. So you have the Rockefellers that just jumped into it. You got China. So while they're spreading the fake news, the whole time they're figuring out what's the best way that we can make money off of this. So they're gonna deter the people. What that does is drives the price down, and then they invest when the price is low, knowing that it's going to go back up because this is a 10-year market that's been out since 2008. It's 2018, so this ain't nothing new. It's already been tried and tested.
Right. Meaning don't be like it was with the .com boom or the Yahoo boom and wait till too late to get in to where the prices are sky high. This is the perfect time to invest some time into learning what it's all about, and we'll put that in because now the number one arguments or the number one thing that hinders relationships, I'm told, it comes down to finances, and so that's one of the aspects in order to make a strong union is to understand finances and come to an agreement or a plan, even if it's a budgeting scheme that you may have read on through some books or whatnot, or even if you created your own, or if you followed whatever your grandparents had or whatever your parents had, as long as it's the formula and the system works. And so that was the introduction to Miss Clancy Jones as we touch base on the relationship part of the program, because that's important. Coming from watching the movie Black Panther, I'm looking at all the ills that they put on black youth, as far as they'll say, 70% of black women are married. They'll say infant mortality rate is high. They'll say the educational is due to because both parents not involved in a child's education. They'll say things such like as far as police brutality, in the sense the male is not teaching the son on how to behave. I guess what I'm saying, Clancy, do you think that the union, if the union is not there, that balance between that male and female in that child, will it hinder the child as it makes its journey towards adulthood?
Oh yeah,
in this society.
It would definitely hinder the child because, like you said, it's about balance. And if you don't have that balance, then you start turning to your own understanding.
Well, what? My thing is, what a desire, though. Meaning, you know how you say, man, take a village, man, to raise a child. Meaning, because I'm a little bit older, and the pride of, or black pride that, we did this, and not saying we was throwing it up in other races' face, but it was like, hey, go out and represent, man. Do the best, be the something. It was almost like, man, we at war in this thing, man. You gotta, man, if you gonna put your foot down, man, put your best foot down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Represent. Where did that desire go, or we just not seeing it and it's shown in other forms?
I think it's shown in other forms. I really feel like you could have both of your parents, but the outside world is showing something totally different, and we don't want to be ourselves. We want to be what we see on TV. We want to be what we see, other people. We want to be cool. We want to be gangsters. We don't want to look at the reality of you have to work hard. You have to go to college. You have to, you have to be balanced. You have to be stable. These children today, they don't care about that. It's going by everything that they see on TV or in the streets. College, that's not what they're about. School, that's not what they're about.
Is there a spell, Brother Christnu, that they under? Like, can we name that to some outer realm or some deity that they trapped in, or where? Because what she described was they zombies in a sense, and they not operating out of their own mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is a spell. It's a numbers game. That's Judaism, Kabbalism, words, language. If you don't know etymology, you don't know the origin of words. If you don't know legalese, you don't know the language of the legal system. You go into a courtroom and you are, when I say ignorant, it just means a lack of knowledge in that particular area of interest. So you got to hire somebody who has the knowledge, who knows the language of legalese, to be able to speak it in front of a judge, so that, which they, both the judge and the attorney, they both take an oath to the barrister, so they'll both have an alliance to the same company, so they're working together. They are one business, and you have, the person who is being accused, of whatever the violation against their name is, that has to rely on people who are working together and are not in the favor of our people in particular.
Right,
Seeing the way that, we get railroaded, and people, they're, which we talked about before, just being prisoners of war and the 13th Amendment and, things of that nature. But yeah, it's definitely a spell. And spells is just, when we talk about words, spelling words, that's a spell within itself. People will say that if you say the right thing to the right person, then you can get them to do a lot of different things that they may not do under certain, under normal circumstances. So what is a spell?
That's a spell.
That's a spell.
So that means that means, Sister Clancy, the intuition, that female intuition, that vision, to see a outlook towards the future. Out of your intuition, what do you see? As far as that balanced energy, that male energy and that female energy, or we say mayat, but that scale of balance, because we as males, we might see things one way.
Yeah. So you're saying basically what women see?
Yeah. Coming into this future.
To be honest, I feel like we don't see a lot. We don't see a lot, and I really feel, I could be wrong, but I really feel that women, when they come into this world, like, soon as you walk off the porch of your house, you don't know anything. And you got men that's out there that's willing to use you, that's willing to steer you the wrong way. And if you don't have the knowledge, and know what are you doing when you walk off that porch, you will fall and have so many scars on you.
Yeah.
And those men see that, and they will use you. They will use you and abuse you for whatever they want. And some women, they like to turn toward men because they feel like, he knows what's best for me, because they see that you don't have enough knowledge to know what's going on, so they're gonna use that and they're gonna abuse that, and you going through all this, but you don't know.
Come on, yeah, you sense something, but
you don't know, and then you feel like, well, he loves me, or this is, or he got me out this situation, but it's crazy.
Yeah, man, that's strong. That's very strong. And that's the purpose of this show. We trying to put that balance back together again. Because there's a need. Because without that balance, now, besides those that are conscious, this is to show the benefit of knowledge, because knowledge is power. Mm-hmm. And so, without that balance, the equilibrium is off. So you're right. People will stumble, whether it's male or female. You will roll into what people would deem to be unsafe in a sense, because every direction that we're trying to travel to is to remove ourselves from the Willie Lynch letters, from slave being meaning when they say slave mind, from the knowledge that the white folk or slave masters gave us back during those times that we passing on and we keep passing on to different generations. So we trying to find a path, the solution to where we can either reach back towards Egypt, and we say these Egyptian mystery systems, so we can reach back and gain and gather that knowledge and put it forth in the future, or in today's time, we look at the known, the new, and we put the mathematics to our present situation and pull ourselves from a certain way of thinking. But it has to be a solution. Yeah, everything is not lost. All can't just be lost in a sense, man. Or if it is, then those who know move on and build with like minds. But I'm finding in the conscious community, though, we're not even getting along. You know what I mean? The conscious community. You know what I mean?
It's just getting worse and worse. It's like when they say you have to survive out here, you really have to survive out here. You really have to.
Now, what's your page though, Clancie? Because I know you getting into this type of work.
My Facebook page is Clancie Jones, CLANCIE. My Facebook.
And Jones. And if y'all got issues, females, males, it don't matter. She will reach out to you and give her insight and wisdom dealing with.
Definitely. With everything, with any kind of problem that you have, I try to answer it the best way I can. I try to give so much motivation and knowledge and elevation to anyone who feels like they've been torn down or broken and need to be uplifted. I'm here.
We need that motivation.
Yes.
Because we've been taught. I mean, even in history. That's why I be on these historians' ass, man. Like, one question came up on the net, was Hannibal black? And the answer was no, he was North African. Right? Well, goddamn. It's the same. But that's why when you watch the movie Malcolm X, when he told, you could say, well, we could certainly say that Jesus wasn't that you quote my Indian brother, Native American brother, he wasn't a pale face. So if y'all want to play the trick game, then we saying that if you black Dominican from Ecuador to Canada to China to whatever, you're not a pale face is what we saying. We say black. But as far as status, North African status is considered as part of the white race. So they saying,
which doesn't have anything to do with skin complexion. Right. It's just status. It's strictly based around political status, to be exact.
But that's the confusion.
Right.
See, that's a Hannibal White, and black folks say, man, I'm looking at him.
Right.
He black.
Right.
But in their status, he is white for what they wrote, as far as, but I don't quote me on this, but I did hear that at one point in time before the Caucasian came into power, that black was considered a status of wealth. Mm-hmm. But now white is considered a status for wealth. Okay, that's fine. But we just want to clear that up so you can know the games that will be played. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They can put Jesus as being white status because in their minds they know that he was black, mm-hmm. or that he wasn't pale face. It wasn't for Europe.
Right. They know he's indigenous.
They know he was indigenous.
Right.
But they can say, but up in this region, his status would be white.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So don't be fooled. That's the game that they'll play to throw you off. Yeah. You know what I mean? Instead of saying, and the reason why I got this, check this out, y'all. Check this out. In Alabama, right, and Georgia, a Cherokee Methodist minister, this was in the early 1800s. His name was Meigs, Meggs, right? He was full-blood Cherokee. he said, damn. So the white man asked him, well, who built the mounds? He said, Meg said, well, Cherokee didn't build these mounds. He said, these mounds were built by the big black Indians who was here before the Cherokee and the Choctaw got here. He said the mounds was already up. He said that their civilization was more advanced than anything the white people or the Cherokee seen. Because, and now I'm understanding, so when DeSoto went into, when he came from Spain and went through the Aztecs and the Incas and worked his way down to Alabama looking for gold, some of them Spaniards became part Cherokee and Choctaw. They came together and defeated the black natives to like 90% of them. And then they left, the other 10 left and went to travel throughout the globe, throughout the planet, throughout North America and whatnot, to different parts, seeking their rights as far as they culture, land, and the whole nine. And man, so the historians, they'll come back and say something like the first black people, no, they said the first Negroes to come to Alabama was brought by DeSoto. But wait a minute, here go a man telling you that black folks been here, been in the mound, but you know the history. And so since they didn't, how can I say, they knew the history, and so since they didn't clarify or didn't let you know that the Moors who was already here coming out of North Africa, they still considered them white. And then I guess the people that they brought from slave back, they brought them from a certain part of Africa, and it might not have been North Africa, so they called them Negroes.
Right, which even the term Negro, you do the etymology on it, is going back to the term Naga, which comes from the language of Sanskrit, which is talking about concentration of energy that flows through the body from the base of the spine to the top of the head, what we call the crown of the head, which hits the pineal gland while we're sleeping, and the pineal regulates the immune system, and our body is made up of the melanin that secretes out of the pineal gland in the middle of the brain. So it's a play on words. So when they say Negro, yes, you can look at the definition now as being black, but you do the etymology, and when you look at words have many different meanings behind it. Right. So just take that into context when it comes to these particular terms. Naga, nigga, negus, negro. They're talking about this kundalini, niggas. We're talking about the kundalini energy, or this concentration of energy that flows through the body all throughout the day.
Come on, man. Shout out to ancient king niggas.
You feel me?
You know what I'm saying?
You feel me?
Ah, bro, yeah. So look, this is what we do, and this is a disclaimer that this is not a parental guidance message, but this is more listening to this show will send so many electric shocks through your brain that it might be unsafe for the slave-minded. So if you have a slave mind, I warn you, do not listen to this show. Save yourself. Go check out, it's a whole bunch of, go check out some others, But if you're not a critical thinker or a free mind or a free person or a person that's beyond fear, don't listen to this show. It'll corrupt you. It'll have you standing up with your chest out, and if you haven't fully relieved yourself of that fear, you might walk into a situation where you listen to the show for at least, man, about a week.
You feel me? So yeah, the echo, so you can have that chin up, chest out, Queen Street. Shut up, Bosco 100.
Go on.
What my son say, Daddy? You say when I see you chin up, chest out, Queen Street. Shout out Inglewood, Cali, my family out there. You hear me?
That's what's up. That's what's up. Definitely. So till then, Real Creek Radio, we out, man. Thank my guests for being on the show. It definitely don't stop. And we out.
Yeah.